Morning. I am running a few minutes behind today, but I'm so happy to be here with you on this last day of 2021. I'm super excited that today is the last day of 2021. I was reflecting on this year last night, and I had the strangest sensation come over me. There was this immense excitement that the year was over, because this has been an extremely challenging year for me. And I was also sad because I felt bad about it, because, which was completely unexpected for me, because this year has been such a teacher for my own heart. I've learned so much this year through every one of those challenges, and all of those challenges were designed to invoke my highest potential. If I was willing to rise up to that challenge, to the many challenges that I faced this year. And I believe that we all faced many challenges this year, and that here we are at the end of this year, and we made it. We didn't give up, and we're not giving in, and we're staying true to our sovereignty. So last night I was reflecting on 2021 like a formidable fighter in a ring. Like, wow, that this year really gave me the opportunity to show myself what I could do in the boxing ring with life. Here's Sophia. Sophia is celebrating the end of 2021 as well. It's been a crazy year. I asked her if she wanted to make an appearance this morning for us, and clearly she does. So welcoming Sophia's energy to today's broadcast. How y'all doing out there? I'm still waking up. Cheers. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Karen. Happy New Year's Eve. I wish I was like way more awake, but haven't gotten much sleep this week as we've been preparing for the new year. I love you too. Welcome from South Africa. Good morning. But I'd rather be here with you than not be here at all. So we have so many exciting things planned for our new year. And I think the best way to drop in Elizabeth is writing in, I just found out there is an outbreak where my husband is at, and now we cannot see each other. This is not how I want to start the year in 2022. Elizabeth, I'm so sorry to hear that, and all of our prayers go out to you. That would be a perfect example of how challenging this year has been for everyone. The world's wide circumstances, dividing families, dividing communities, pushing people into fear and anxiety that has become seemingly contagious in and of itself. And my heart goes out to you. Our hearts go out to you. Good morning. Good morning. Oh. And when I face these moments in my own life where things don't go as expected, I always look for, what is the opportunity of growth here? What is the opportunity to be with my own heart and to discover, to spend that sacred time with my own heart? And why would my higher self have me in a moment like such as the one you're walking through? What are the pearls? What are the opportunities of growth and reflection, and maybe even creativity? Maybe there's a way to connect that will bring a very special moment for you and your husband across the heart waves that's unique and different virtually on this New Year's Day. I want to thank everyone for showing up live. It's so good to see everyone. This morning, we are going to be talking about the Sophia Dragons in preparation for our New Year's celebration ceremony. Wings up, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, I love this feedback, very deep feedback that people are writing in the chat, our community members. Thank you so much for writing in. Jennifer, about your family. I'm so sorry you've lost members in your family this year. And Jennifer's writing that she actually had to sit with her grief for once in her life, which was always a struggle for her. That's a perfect example of when something unexpected shows up. We lean into it, and we allow the medicine of life to fall fresh upon us, to wash over us, and to guide us into those places and spaces within us that are ready to be more embodied by our conscious awareness, more embodied by our radical divine love, more filled out in the light of our higher self. Like we didn't come here just for the easy moments. We came here for the challenging moments. We came here for all of it. We came here for all of it because it ignites our fire. Otherwise, we wouldn't come to this crazy planet. So I want to thank everyone for all of your beautiful comments. I see people are, some of us are very excited to talk about the dragons, and I'm so excited to talk about the dragons. So if you have your copy of the Sophia Code, again, I'm still waking up, everyone, so thank you so much for your patience. I'm on page 301 in the Sophia Code, and we're going to do a super cool guided meditation this morning with the Seraph of Air. And I'm going to explain why we're working with the elements in 2022 for our schedule events. And yeah, it's just going to be a fabulous year where one of our mantras for 2022 is dragons got a dragon. And that is a perfect follow-up to our mantra from yesterday, which is, as we all remember, if you want to write it in the chat, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. So if we started out with, I love and accept myself exactly as I am, what would that eventually lead to as your self-esteem and your self-love continues to grow stronger and brighter and fill out those spaces and places within your heart that are ready to shine? Well, I'll tell you what will happen. Dragon's got a dragon is what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to become your most fierce, powerful, creative, abundant version of yourself. You know, in ancient times, the dragon was both a metaphorical and a spiritual, as well as a physical symbol of sovereign empowerment, of total mastery of the self. And you know, there's, of course, in the Western context, there's a lot of fear and misunderstanding around that dragon energy. But in the ancient Asian cultures, dragons were honored as the highest expression of those highest qualities that we could embody in our heroic human journey. I keep drinking this coffee. Wow. Okay. Wish I had more sleep for this live. Woo! It's all right. Dragon's get a dragon, even if your eyes are half open. Let's see. All right. So I'm on page 301 of the Sophia Code, and I thought today we could go into the description of the Sophia Dragons because they're honestly one of the most beautiful creation species that I have ever laid eyes on. When I first met the Sophia Dragons, I think I was just in almost like a shock and awe state for a couple of years. I could not believe I had been taken into the temple of Sophia to meet with them and to experience this part. The Sophia Dragons are a part of the Seraphim order, and there are other physical forms of the Seraphim, but the Sophia Dragons they represent the very highest aspect of leadership in that particular angelic order. And the Seraphim attend to the divine will of the Holy Mother. And when I had that experience for the first time and got to meet these Sophia dragons with my own eyes, my life changed forever. I knew that I could never not see what I had seen. I had seen that these beautiful angelic creatures, which in the Kabbalah, the Seraphim are called the fiery creatures of God. I knew that I was witnessing an aspect of how creation is birthed into reality. And it was so holy. I knew I was standing in the holies of the Holy of Holies, that's often referred to in ancient texts, of standing at the throne of creation, where creation is being born into the reality that we experience it as. And to witness that holy birthing process that involved these Seraphim dragon mothers of sovereignty, I remember thinking to myself, how will I ever share this with the world? That these creatrix dragon mothers gestate the dreams of the Holy Mother and the prayers and the creation, and then birth them out into the cosmos for us. And they're not the only birth or species, but they are one of the top. And I thought, how am I going to talk to humanity about this? Is humanity even ready for this? Because I know a good portion of humanity is very scared of dragons. And of course, there's the whole issue with certain species, like that reptilian species that have a long history of oppression on this planet, as well as others. But when we're talking about the Sophia dragons, we're not talking about any species that's been directly interfering with this planet at all. We're talking about an angelic heavenly order that serves at the very throne, the very heart of the Divine Mother. And they are a part of birthing sovereign beings, not oppressing any species for power. So I completely understand where people can get confused or concerned when they hear, there's dragons involved with the Sophia Code. And then there's other people who hear about the dragons as a part of the Sophia Code, and they get really, really excited because they love the medicine dragon. So, there's this full spectrum of how people respond when they find out about the Sophia Code. And as an author and as a channel, I had to make the decision that I was going to stand by the vision that was given to me to share, no matter what anybody felt about it, and to continue to share that this angelic order was essential for initiating humanity into the truth of its sovereign divinity. Because as I stood there in the temple of Sophia, within that one source light, witnessing how she births new creation into form along with this angelic order, there was nothing but holiness. And how do you not speak of holiness? How do you not speak of the Sacred Heart of the Divine Mother and how she chooses to birth beyond our judgments about ourselves and our own, twisted history here in this planet? It was just like, no, I need to speak about this, because it would take a tribe of dragons, all-powerful Seraphim dragons, to help us break through how enslaved humanity is to the matrix. Like, humanity has been programmed and conditioned to live from the context of unconscious slavery for thousands of years on this planet. And this is why the Sophia Dragons offer us that final initiation to our sovereignty in chapter 13 of the Sophia Code, because it's like, first of all, what is that saying? It's saying you are bigger than this planet. You are bigger than this matrix. You are bigger than your human body. You are bigger than, one planet's history. You are bigger than any lower, any particular species oppressing your species. You're so big, you are dragon size. I mean, that's the message that we're coming out of the gate, out of the temple gates with the Sophia Dragons in chapter 13 of the Sophia Code. They're saying, wake up to your sovereignty. You are not chained or imprisoned to this planet. You are an eternal being, and your eternal soul has access to the entire multiverse of power and creation and abundance. And your human awareness can have access to this divine genome within you, that when you activate it, you literally flip the switches, the metaphysical light switches on inside of you, the crystalline chromosomes of your light bodies that interface and co-create your human body. And when you flip those switches on, you are activating your awareness to now be operating from your heavenly consciousness, otherwise known as your higher self-consciousness, also known as your divinity, also known as your eternal soul. If you're operating from that space, you are learning how to think thoughts of sovereignty. You are learning how to make choices in sovereignty. You are learning how to master the earth plane and download heavenly resources into your heroic human life every day. Every day, you are learning how to live in your sovereignty. And as we can all see, as we all know, there has never been a more important time to talk about sovereignty, to breathe into our sovereignty, to claim our sovereignty, as Isis shares in her chapter in the Sophia Code, and to learn how to operate from a context of sovereignty, to unplug from the matrix's programming of codependency that would keep us enslaved to another age. The Sophia Dragons in chapter 13 of the Sophia Code declare that you and I, that we, all of us that came here as light workers and earth angels from across the universe to be here at this time in this lifetime, we came here to birth a new sovereign paradigm. And it's going to look nothing like the one that we are navigating right now here on the planet, that is built on oppression and tyranny and inequality. I'm so happy to see everyone popping on. So one of the things that Elizabeth is asking about my pendant, this is the Joan of Arc, born for this pendant. I love this pendant so much. It's one of my favorite pendants in the collection. So Joan of Arc said about her life mission that she said, I was born for this. And that's a really big statement, given what Joan accomplished and then what happened to Joan. And there are beautiful golden dragon scales here on one side of the pendant. It's a 4-sided pendant. And it's connected to the banner, the military standard that she would ride into battle with in front of the 10,000 men in her army. And it's just the perfect pendant to wear for today as we step into the new year, because Joan was fighting for the sovereignty of her country. And here we are reclaiming the sovereignty of our body, hearts, and minds for the sake of the entire planet. And that's another reason why we are mentoring with the Sophia Dragons in this lifetime with the Sophia Code teachings, is because we are here literally to help initiate the sovereign liberation of an entire planet and all of humanity by activating our own sovereignty first and learning how to embody that sovereignty first and learning how to co-create a sovereign community first and foremost. That makes such a significant impact on the collective consciousness of humanity in this planet. Oh my gosh, we are already sending out waves, ocean waves, atom bombs of sovereign divine light, sovereign Christ light, sovereign Buddha light across this planet and beyond. When we mentor with the Sophia Dragons, we wake up to our global mission and to our universal mission to assist all species in the remembrance of their sovereign divinity. Because here's the thing, if every species on this planet, both seen and unseen, both oppressed and oppressor, actually remembered, reclaimed, and embodied the truth of their sovereign divinity, this global war and this intergalactic war that we are surviving right now would fall away. There would be nothing to compete for. The awakening within our body, heart, and minds would reveal to us that we all have exactly what we need and more so, and that the creative genius of our higher self and our equal and shared sovereign divinity can move through us and create divine solutions and abundance for all. There's no reason for one species to enslave another. Good morning. So great to see everyone, your beautiful messages in the chat. So much fun. So anyways, another really important point to understand about the Sophia Code as a movement, as a sacred text, with these Sophia dragons as an essential part of this sovereign blueprint for humanity's awakening, is that we operate from something that's called the beauty way. The beauty way it comes from an indigenous path of prayer and ceremony, where it's a practice that everything can be done in a beautiful way. And it's a way, it's a mindset and a perspective that if we behave in a beautiful way, if we create in a beautiful way, we are continually giving back to life, to the ceremony of life. And beauty, when we create and operate from a beautiful space within our hearts, it honors individuals and community and the planet so much that it steps us into a higher resonance of relating to one another, which then softens the defenses of the ego structure towards spiritual awakening. So, good morning. So when I met the Sophia Dragons, again, it was one of the most beautiful aspects of creation I had ever seen in all of my existence. And I knew that if people could just read about the Sophia Dragons, connect with them through their own hearts and third eyes, that they would understand that these are actually the fiery seraphim of sovereignty. These were pure angelic beings that were magnificent enough to help initiate our awareness to wake up beyond the enslavement of this planet and to reclaim our sovereign divine light and to choose to create beyond fear and choose to be courageous enough to download that source consciousness into this world, honestly, as an army of light. We are an angelic army of light, and we're not here to fight against anyone or anything. We're here to take a stand, to take ground, and to hold that ground, and to expand upon that ground of sovereignty for the liberation of all beings. Love all these comments coming into the chat. Feel free to share your love for the Sophia Dragons, your particular connection to the Sophia Dragons in the chat. I'm going to jump into this description because then we're going to do a brief guided meditation. Have another sip of this coffee. Do you like talking about your sovereignty? Do you like knowing that there's angelic orders that have got your back that are so much bigger than what's going on in this planet? How do you enjoy connecting with the Sophia Dragons? So on page 301, I'm going to start at the very beginning of the chapter and just read out loud their words. The Sophia Dragons speak. We are the Sophia Dragons, a lineage within the highest angelic order known as the Seraphim. We attend to the throne of Sophia's light, arising from her black womb of no thing, from which all of creation is immaculately conceived. Our Sophia embodiment title is She Who Births Sovereign Creators. For Sophia designed our angelic DNA in her likeness as a blueprint for birthing sovereign beings and creations. I'm not going to go into all of those teachings, but imagine if you were the source light, you were that aspect of source that was the Divine Mother, and your intention was to begin to birth creation in your image and likeness as sovereign, divine, and all-powerful. And perhaps the first species, one of the first species that you decide to give birth to, is an angelic order that will help you continue to birth more and more sovereign species into a universe of creation. Wouldn't it make sense that as the Divine Mother, you would give birth to, if you were a sovereign Divine Mother, you would give birth to sovereign children, and that those sovereign children would give birth to sovereign children? What if sovereignty was a divine trait, like a gene that gets passed on throughout all of creation? That is the promise of the Sophia Code, that is the truth of reality. Let's keep going. Our pearlescent white-scaled dragon embodiment is the most recognizable crystalline form of the Sophia Dragon lineage. May it also appear to you as platinum, gold, silver, night black, or other colors in your spectrum of light. No matter what color we choose to embody, our scales always shimmer with Sophia's pearlescent sheen, which is an iridescence that includes every color in the universe. Oops, excuse me. Gaze into every dimension of your soul. Our omniscient eyes proclaim your sovereignty unto the ends of creation. We have 4 sets of feathered white wings that continually appear and dissolve from your sight in figure 8 flight patterns. When you look closely, you will see a bejeweled eye within each of our scales, flashing with lightning that sings, holy, holy, holy. Sophia is all there is. We are the fire and light of Sophia, breathing the breath of life upon you with the stardust of your own Holy Spirit. So, and I'm going to jump down to this last paragraph. As we are responsible for birthing creations, the size of our magnificent bodies is beyond any human concept that currently exists in your dragon lore. However, when we appear to you on the inner planes, we shift our size so that you may take in the features of our face or some other detail that informs your consciousness about our teaching embodiment. So that was something I'm glad that they told me to jump down to that paragraph. When I first met the Sophia Dragons, they were so enormous. I didn't know how they, it was so hard for them to even land in my consciousness. Like I had never seen anything so big. I didn't know there was creatures that were literally that big. A dragon mother that could birth an entire galaxy. I mean, it was so incredible to meet Seraphim that size. And what they kept telling me over and over again, they were like, look at how our scales are singing. Look at how we're covered in these eyes that can see in every direction. They're saying, this is a mirror for you of your crown chakra. This is a mirror for you of your soul that exists everywhere, across all of creation simultaneously. All of your incarnations are happening simultaneously. What if all of your incarnations were singular dragon scales in your own dragon embodiment? I mean, when you connect to the magnificence, like the almost indescribable holiness of their beauty, and you point that mirror back to you, what's happening at the end of the Sophia Code is you think you're only this big. You are so big, your human awareness won't even be able to completely ever understand the depth of who you are in words. It can only be experienced as a direct transmission through your, in your communion with God. And that's what the Sophia Dragons guided me to over time, was to really sit in the presence of God and recognize what all the Yogi Christ masters, speak about over time, that like God's reflection is that we are one with God. And the vastness of God is you in human form and nothing less than that. And it would take some guides like Seraphim dragons the size of galaxies to even guide our awareness to even begin to grapple to accept that we were made in that image and likeness, and that we can claim that for ourselves. And further, that it is our responsibility to claim that much holiness and divinity and sovereignty for ourselves, because look what happens to this world, to this planet, and to humanity if we don't claim that about ourselves. We don't step into our creatorhood. We don't step into our miracle making. We don't step into our prosperity when we play small. Dragons got a dragon in 2022. That's the deal. And that's why I've been guided to name next year the Year of the Dragons, plural. The Year of the Dragons for the Sophia Code community. We're all going to step into our golden dragon mastery. We are all going to awaken to a whole nother level, to the truth of our sovereign divinity and how to live joyfully from that space, no matter how the world, whatever the world is doing with its weird situations that it wants to keep perpetuating. We're going to continue to thrive. We're going to continue to live in our power and our grace, and we're going to continue to be of the highest service, activating the leadership of humanity, activating the sovereign awakening of humanity. That's what we'll be busy doing. We're going to be being busy dragoning in our awakening and for the liberation of all beings. That's where we are going to be focused. And I'm so excited to be co-creating with you in that space. And so for just a moment, I would like to, now that we've warmed up our collective consciousness, just kind of got the engines fired up to connect with this consciousness of the Sophia Dragons, I invite you to take this moment to visualize your circle of empowerment. And we're going to just do a very quick guided meditation before I close. I was a little tired, so I'm going a little longer than I anticipated this morning, but what a way to wake up with you and the Sophia Dragons this morning. So thanks for being here today. And let's get busy dragoning together, beautiful dragon souls. So breathing in, exhaling out, breathing in, exhaling out. This is the last day of 2021. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for the formidable challenges of this year. I'm so happy for this year to be over. Woo! 2022 is our year. It's the year of the dragon. So breathing in all of the lessons learned, all of the strength, all of the power that you gained by navigating the challenges of 2021, and exhaling out. Done. Over. We made it. We are crossing the finish line here and now, right now, today, in this moment. Maybe breathe some dragon fire over that 2021. I'm going to just breathe some dragon fire over that right now. You can be like that holy fire offering, like, thanks, and here's the fire to purify everything that's happened, and giving thanks for everything I learned, and goodbye 2021. See you never again. Just feeling the joy of your inner child. Welcome the presence of your higher self, and to feel that presence of your higher self, to recognize that presence of your higher self, that we're not invoking as though they weren't there. We are invoking the presence of your higher self to come forward into the forefront of your conscious awareness, and to feel that light and fire of your higher self falling fresh upon you, body, heart, and mind, like a waterfall of light, as a radiant sun within the center of your being. So there's like the energy of that source energy flowing through you from your crown to your root, down your legs, connecting you to the heart of the earth, and then expanding out as a radiant sun, that Christ consciousness, the Buddha light within the center of your heart. It's a stargate that expands and widens, every ray of sun expanding and widening from the center of your being all the way out to the edges of that circle of light. What's the color of your circle of empowerment this morning? Does it have any dragon flames on it? Mine does. Today I have emerald flames around my circle of empowerment, and I just love it. It looks so pretty. I'm welcoming in all of our Keycode Ascended Masters in the 8 directions, as well as the fullness of the Sophia Dragon Tribe. As they're coming in, I can hear their applause and their joy and their love for each and every one of us. And they're saying, well done, Sovereign Masters. Well done. Well done for walking in your truth and in your light and in your courage across the landscape of 2021. The year that is dawning and rising upon your hearts is a year that you will never forget. It is a year of greatness. It is the year where you will remember why you came here, and unexpected moments and miracles that will connect the dots of all your lifetimes that you have lived in preparation for this one. We thank you for your courage to embody that sovereign divine light that most of humanity has been asleep to. We understand the depth of courage and bravery and willingness and tenacity and perseverance that is required to live and radiate a light that triggers and confronts people that may not be ready to discover this same light within themselves. And this, our friends, is why you must and you will embody that golden dragon light body self-mastery in 2022. We welcome you to the year of the dragons, and we welcome you to a deeper level of initiation and growth with our beloved Sophia Dragons. We welcome you to lay down the fears of another age so that you can become the true co-birthers of a sovereign divine paradigm that humanity deserves. It is humanity's divine right to live in a liberated state of prosperity, wellness, and holiness. It is this planet's divine right to be stewarded with sacredness and respect and care by the species that live upon her. There is a great global awakening unfolding, and we reaffirm to you that this is why so much oppression has ramped up over the past 2 years. But have you noticed the depths within yourself that you've been willing to explore, to activate, to embody as a result of this oppression? What would happen, dear friends, if you were to mentor with the Sophia Dragons all year long and learn how to co-create at your highest potential beyond the oppression of those on this planet that would seek to control you? What would happen if you chose to live in your sovereign co-creative mastery with the source because it was your joy to do so? What if your daily practice became your daily joy? What if your willingness to face those places within you that may be struggling with codependency or the tragic wounds of this life for others? What if you were willing to so boldly face those places within you that they spontaneously combusted into the radiant light of your soul every day of your life in 2022? What if? Thank you, Sophia Dragon Tribe. These are the words of the Sophia Dragon Tribe. We're going to hear more from them as they come through for the New Year's, at the Sovereign Awakening New Year's celebration, which is on January 9th. You can sign up for that right now at kaira.com. And feeling the Sophia Dragons coming forward, they are one angelic order that is a part of the Sophia Dragon Tribe, which is Keycode 333 in the Sophia Code. Excuse me, Keycode 333 is everyone. It's all the key codes. It's all of the ascended masters that we talk about, but many that we do not name individually. And it's all the angelic orders and star nations that are also a part of this extreme high council that's consecrated to activating the sovereign divinity of all species and all planets, not just Earth and not just humans. This is an inter-universal high council of angelic orders and ascended masters and star nations. And I just feel like so lucky that we get to co-create with them in this lifetime. So I'm going to welcome that. So good to see everyone. So happy and enjoying today's transmission. It's so much fun to be here with you. Okay, so this final message from the Sophia Dragons. There are many, many Sophia Dragons, but the one Sophia Dragon we're going to be working with in our Sovereign Awakening New Year's ceremony. Oh my gosh, this dragon feels so good. It's the Seraph of Air. this beautiful dragon mother, Sophia Dragon Mother, she embodies all of the elements connected to all of the divine attributes, connected to the element of air, and how those air elements help us embody specific aspects of our sovereignty. And I'm going to go way into that during our New Year's ceremony. But for now, she just would love to explore you, exploring her. And so if you're ready, she's just going to make herself known to your awareness or to your consciousness. Her scales are so beautiful. There's these beautiful white scales, and they have this pearlescent sky blue sheen. And she has 3 eyes on her face. She has her 2 main eyes, and then her third eye is wide open. And her 2 main eyes are violet blue, but her third eye is sky blue. And she has these beautiful horns that trail behind her, and they're silver, like pure silver. And she is approaching now on these beautiful clouds, and you may feel the very molecular structure of the air around you vibrate to a different resonance, to a higher, clearer, very high altitude resonance of sovereignty. And as the Seraph of Air touches down into your reality, she is breathing the breath of life over you. As she does, every one of her scales ripples back, and the beautiful eyes that are within each scale, as they ripple back, little lightning bolts ripple back along the scales as well, off of her body. And I'm witnessing this phenomenon of circular rainbows radiating off as she ripples back with every breath of life. Now she's going to make herself small enough in form so that your third eye can take her in. She's not bound by space and time the way we are in our perception. So she can scale down to meet you and greet you exactly where you're at. And she is the one that's going to be overlighting our entire ceremony in New Year's, along with all the Ascended Masters and angelic orders. And I'd love for us to breathe with her together. Because the Seraph of Air teaches us that is through the power of our embodied breath, which is the connection to life, carries the Holy Spirit of our soul in our bodies. To connect with that breath, and that breath of life that is breathing you, puts it back in perspective. So often the ego structure makes us very focused in thinking that we're making all this happen. And no, it's the divinity that we are that's keeping our world spinning in its orbit. So as this beautiful Seraph of Air breathes a breath of life over you, it's going to feel like crystalline stardust. Breathe with her. It may reset your consciousness for the entire day and for your New Year's celebration tonight. You may feel tiredness or weariness leaving your body as this breath of life recalibrates you to your higher self and your own divinity, regenerating you in real time through your direct connection to the source. You may feel this beautiful Sophia Dragon breathing the breath of life over the back side of your chakras, realigning you with your direct connection to source. And finally, you may feel the Sophia Dragon of Air, helping your mind to expand far beyond your body, to feel your connection to the star nurseries of the multiverse, where everyone's hopes and dreams come true. From stardust we are born, the stardust will we return, and therefore it is our divine right to birth from the very stardust of creation, a new sovereign paradigm where masters are allowed to be masters. Children are allowed to be honored and respected, nurtured and whole. Where the planet is allowed and welcome to prosper and thrive. And humanity walks with grace, honor, and respect for itself once again. There's a final download from this beautiful sovereign, Sophia Dragon of Air, and it's a golden light download. If you'd like to receive this, you feel your crown chakra spinning open and this column of light descending down past your eyes, through your throat, into your heart, and activating your root chakra. And this is a transmission, a reminder, and an activation. You are truly here to birth a new golden age. That hasn't changed. Birthing golden ages are usually preceded by dark ages, ages of such extreme oppression that it catapults, it springboards massive species awakening or global awakening. The being at the front lines and the forefront of midwifing a global awakening, that's where you are. The Sophia Dragon is reminding you this morning. So do not despair. The Holy Spirit that is breathing upon you and within you is full of faith and a sacred flame that could never be extinguished, that you become more and more cognizant of when you connect with the Sophia Dragons as a mirror for who you really are, the beautiful angel on earth. And as we allow this breath of life, integrating that golden ray activation, that special end of year gift that we have just received from the Seraph of Air, we close that particular ceremonial moment and space, knowing that we're going to blast those Stargate doors open, wide open, on January 9th for our Sovereign Awakening New Year's celebration. I'm so excited for our ceremony. Please be sure to sign up and reserve your seat. And you can find out more information about that at my website at kaiara.com. And I welcome you to have the most dragony last day of 2021. Remember your mantras today. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And as you deepen and revel in your acceptance of yourself, guess what happens? Dragons got a dragon. Have fun in your self-mastery. Have fun bumping around your golden dragon light body today, the end of 2021. You deserve it, angels. You deserve everything for you. I'll see you on Monday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for our next YouTube Live. And please be sure to like this video, add your comments in the replay. Please be sure to subscribe and to my channel, and just know that I love you. We're with you. We're praying with you, both through the lows and the highs as we walk through this portal together. All my love to our angels who are here for you as well. Thank you for your incredible support on YouTube Live this past week. We'll see you in the new year, everyone, on Monday morning. Have a safe and blessed New Year's. Bye.